Well, Asbury did something correct for once. New Pro Blaster, the Stryfe X. And as the name suggests, it's pretty much a normal Stryfe on steroids. This is the core blaster, as you can see, it's very similar to a Stryfe. We'll go over it from left to right. Starting up at the front, they removed the end strike barrel lug, possibly because barrel lugs in Pro Blasters don't work well together, but it's still sad to see the barrel lugs gone. Behind that is the flywheel cage. Now this flywheel cage is in the same position as the normal Stryfe's flywheel cage, and it says Stryfe X on it. But it is much normal Stryfe's flywheel cage in order to accommodate larger motors. This is common in most mods for the Stryfe, but it's cool actually seeing one Stryfe out of box with it. Up here is an iron sight. There is no corresponding rear iron sight, and over here is the axis door. Now this is the same Stryfe axis door, except there's no electronic lock. But because of the dart guide installed into here, it's very hard to get your finger in and clear jams. Down here is the battery release. It's the same battery release that I've heard that's on the Percy's. To remove it, you press this little button inwards, pull out, and you can pull the battery. The magazine release is honestly in a really awkward spot. It's not where it's usually be, and instead you gotta use your offhand to strike it while pulling the magazine out. Moving back again, we have another fat rival rail. And then over here is the battery tray, which is the same shape as the regular Stryfe battery tray, but it's been cleared out to accommodate the battery. The included battery is your industry standard 3S LiPo with a 1000 milliamp discharge rate. Do not destroy or incinerate the battery in any way and keep it below 113 degrees Fahrenheit at all times. When it comes time to dispose of the battery, dispose of it in a dedicated disposal center. And back here we have a standard end strike stock attachment point just like on the Stryfe. Now moving to the grip, there's a couple changes. First of all, there's a trigger safety here. When it's forward, it's ready to fire. But when it's back, you can't push the rev trigger or the trigger. Speaking about the rev trigger and the rev trigger is expanded from the normal Stryfe's rev trigger. There's a couple extra grooves. But it still has kind of an annoying click when you press it, because that's disengaging the trigger lock. I'll have to pull that out when modding. And the regular trigger seems to be geared instead of like whatever the weird system we had on the original Stryfe, so it's very smooth. It's like it's the snappiest Nerf trigger I've ever used. It's pretty impressive. And down here by the grip, there's a little extension, like modders have been doing. Just makes the grip a little more comfortable to hold, because I thought my hands always slipped off the original Stryfe grip. Quickly, like to talk about the magazine it comes with. This is a new magazine design that we haven't really seen anywhere. It's kind of like a really cheap worker Talon magazine. Has the same dimensions, same design, but it's half the price of a 15-round worker Talon mag, which is pretty impressive from Nerf. The darts it comes with are new design. These are the Pro half-length AccuStrike darts. I find these darts are really accurate and they work pretty well. They work even in springers, but because of how the Stryfe X works, the dart heads are often torn off by the flywheels. It also comes with a pair of glasses and a USB-C to USB-A charging cable, as I showed earlier. They include enough darts to fill up the magazine twice, which I think is really good, and it follows a trend they've been doing with League 2.0. But unlike League 2.0, these darts are actually good. We're done with the external overview, now let's see it on the range. A little faster now. My overall opinion on this blaster is very positive. Considering it's Nerf's first pro offering, they did a pretty good job designing everything. Everything works smoothly as intended. I find that even with quick trigger pulls, it shoots just as far as most springers, which is very impressive out of a flywheeler, and it's also pretty accurate with those new darts. The battery is the big seller and the big turnoff for most people since it's high powered and it's a very good battery system, but it's going to be very hard to replace. Nerf might sell these batteries separately, but until now, if you break your battery, you're absolutely screwed. The Stryfe X chronos, I would say faster than most other Pro blasters, which is pretty impressive considering that it's like a Nerf product and normally Nerf products shoot slower. But it's not like all good stuff. I have a couple complaints I'd like to point out about the Stryfe X. So first of all, as I said earlier, the magazine releases in an awkward place, and it's not that much of a big deal, but it's a little quality of life issue for people who are used to reloading a normal Stryfe. However, Out of Dutch has already made a 3D printed fix that you can just drop in, and from what I've heard, it actually works pretty well. The rev trigger I found still has the annoying click. It's a little less noticeable, but you still have to kind of pull it out when modding to make it easier to use. And last of all, the two big deal breakers that'll turn most people off. It's incredibly loud and incredibly expensive. The loudness I can get, it's a high-performance Flywheeler and it has to be loud, but it really doesn't have to be $120. Especially fresh out of the box from Nerf mass manufacturer, it could definitely be $100. But for what it is, it's one of the best things you can get, and it's still a pretty good deal for $120. So what's my overall opinion? It's pretty positive, and I'd recommend people buy it if they're looking for a Flywheeler, since there aren't really that many others out there on the market. I thought the new Omnia would like come in and replace it, but the new Omnia still kind of sucks. So as of now, the Stryfe X is the best option out there if you don't have a 3D printer. I'll also make a comparison video comparing this to the normal Stryfe. That should be out in like a month or so. Anyways, thanks for watching me waste $200 on a YouTube video.